So today is National Coming Out Day, October 11th of every year. Coming out as trans or non-binary or gay or lesbian or bi or pan or queer or ace or intersex, it's all a beautiful and powerful thing. It's often terrifying, but I think most importantly, it's often life-saving. Many of you know bits and pieces about how I figured out that I'm trans and my transition journey, but one thing that I haven't shared on here on YouTube is an original piece that I wrote and performed several times for a production of the Vagina Monologues back in Florida. And I wanted to share this specifically on National Coming Out Day because I think it really highlights some of those parts of the process of finding and discovering the woman that I know myself to be today, and why it was a necessity for me to come out and transition in the first place. Again, relating to that piece of how I knew I was trans and how I knew I needed to transition. The original whole piece that I wrote has, three different women, three different parts that kind of intersect for three different women exploring their experiences as trans women. But I'll just be reading part of the piece that I personally performed out of this whole thing. So a little bit of it may seem a little disjointed at points, but it highlights very briefly some of the key parts of my experience. I hope you enjoy. I'm just a cross-dresser. I would tell this to other people, but then ask myself, is this a phase? I wasn't close to my family. I couldn't rely on their measure of normal. And then puberty reared its ugly head. The desire to be a woman, to be able to live my life as a woman, flooded back full force. Every night, I lay in bed wishing I would wake as a woman. But rather than fight, I learned to accept the changes as my body grew taller, stronger, hairier, even more pungent. I felt like I had no choice. I cried because I was confused. Was I attracted to being with a woman? Was I attracted to the idea of being a woman? I was so in love with my girlfriends. But could both of these be true? And throughout high school and college, I always had girlfriends. Things like sex were just not important to me. I could not come out, so I played the role of the best friend, silent partner, hardly much of a lover, really hardly myself. In my early 20s, I came out to a girlfriend as a cross-dresser. She ridiculed me, and we broke up. The inevitable next girlfriend wrongfully assumed I was a gay man. No one gives you permission to be yourself. You have to take it. And at least I have the support of a few friends, getting stronger by the day. Sometimes I want to kill myself at the thought of growing old as a man, but I finally have a partner who makes me feel comfortable in confidence. When I tell her I am transgender, I am a woman, she remains by my side. I'm still the person that she fell in love with. Without her, it would have been unbearable pursuing therapy, joining support groups, getting hormones from a doctor who actually decides to be on my side, coming out to family, coming out at work, being myself full time. But then problems of the past recur for new reasons. Our romantic relationship quickly dies. You cannot force someone to change who they love, to change their orientation. She never struggles to see me as a woman, as a best friend, but as a girlfriend, partner, lover. These titles no longer apply. In the end, I want to be with someone who knows it, that this is who I've always been, from the very beginning. I feel like I'm a bit rusty in reading that, and it obviously just reflects a tiny sliver of my journey, of my experiences. But writing this piece and sharing this piece with so many people was also a big part of my journey. The first draft I wrote was only about a month or two after coming out full time. I came out full time in November 2015, and this production was in February 2016. And it was probably late November, early December that I was talking to the people producing it and putting it together. They were specifically looking for trans women to fill a piece about trans women. And I guess I really gave myself no time to just kind of ease into my new life, because I was telling parts of my story on a public stage only 3 months into my full-time journey. It was such a healing experience to not only share those words on stage, but to also receive so much support from fellow cast members and people in the audience. My mom was even able to come to one of the shows. I don't think everything came off perfectly in the way I expressed it in this piece, looking back on it 5 years later, but it holds such a special place in my heart. It was a journey, this transition journey, this journey of being myself. A lot of it was a journey of trying to repress things over and over and over until I realized what I really needed to do was to actually truly embrace myself rather than keep repressing these very core parts of who I am. I'd love to hear what you think. What are your thoughts on this piece? Can you relate to any of it? And also, what are some of the influential moments in your journey of really embracing yourself? Are there any stories that you want to share for National Coming Out Day? Pieces that were influential and memorable in that piece of coming out and living your truth. And as always, Tipsy and I love you all so very much. And we hope that you're staying as happy, healthy, and safe as you can during these tough times. If you have not done so already, please, 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 please give this a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button and notification bell, or else Tipsy and I will be very sad. I love you all. Bye for now.